Hi, I'm Paul Wagner, Minnesota Wire. I'm the chairman and the CEO. One of the first memories I have of Minnesota Wire is my father would collect circuit boards way back when and bring them home in bulk, and we'd put them at the kitchen table, and we'd cut the little bit of gold that we could get off the backs of them. My father really taught us hard work. You started working early, and my mother's side, Nora, she said you got to get up every morning and have a purpose, and we still live by those rules.
I think it was started with my parents grabbing an opportunity. I'm not sure that they were lifelong dreamers to become a wire and cable company, but I think they found an opportunity, they grabbed it, so I think what they really wanted was ownership and control of what they were going to be doing. And so when that came along, they grabbed it and ran with it.
You know, my father moved us up here in 1963, and he had a consulting business at first, and then he decided to go into business for himself, and he started as a distributor for wire and cable products, and eventually started doing some processing on wire and cable, doing striping, dyeing, changing the color of the wire, that kind of thing. Did a lot of business with UNIVAC. And then eventually, I think it was Medtronic that got us originally into the medical field and into manufacturing for the medical products, and we were creating TENS lead wires at the time, and that was, I think, our first medical product. From there, we just continued to grow from Medtronic up into mostly medical, and then defense and communications and some industrial followed along.
Another story of mine early on was my 8th grade, and we had a graduation, and so my father gave me a gift, and it was a lawnmower, and he was going to put me to work. So I said, well, what's next? And he said, you got to get customers, pull up the lawnmower so they can see it, knock on the door, tell them such and such, and also tell them that you'll shovel the walks in the wintertime for them. And don't go in a straight line, go in a circle, because it's faster to get there. And obviously he just needed a lawnmower.
Growing up, we always had kind of an open door policy. There was a lot of people moving in and out of the house, lived with us. We had grandparents, uncles, nephews, and exchange students and so forth. So it was always a full house, and it kind of forced you into learning how to get along with each other, how to communicate with each other, how to not get too worked up on certain things, and so I was very much appreciative of that, and really amazing what my parents put up with. They drove it, but they also had to put up with it too.
Our family had a large kitchen table and a big long bench on one side and chairs on the other. And I was one of the younger ones, so the younger kids had to all sit out on the bench. And, the older kids would sit in the chairs, and/or, King Brian, which is my oldest brother, would sit at the very end of the table, and he would, tell us that he wouldn't move. So if you got there after Brian, you'd have to crawl under the table and up onto the bench as one of the little kids. But it's a kitchen table we still have to this day, and it's up in the Eau Claire manufacturing cafeteria, and we use it every day. One of the things I love about the awards side of Minnesota Wire is the ability to watch Paul get the same awards that I watched my father get. The small business awards and some of the family-owned business awards, and it really is pretty neat to see the generation move from one to the next.
It's an unusual one. It was an Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year in the technology category. And we really steered the company towards that capability and how to accomplish that. but it's definitely a team award. You know, it's not the individual. No entrepreneur is just an entrepreneur. He knows how to build a team to do things together. Well, one of the exciting things is we're taking a long, hard look at all our capabilities. We've got some crazy technologies of making product nobody in the world makes. The Wisconsin factory's going aerospace certification, so it's going to be different for us. And obviously that's exciting, but we really need to hunker down and focus on that and drive those into the marketplace. You know, not many people understand what we do here.
I really think we're at a position now, and it's happened before, and it's a cyclical thing, but really positioning for growth right now. It's really important not to waste the opportunity. It's taken us a few years to put things together, got stable, organized, leadership in place, the labor force is there, the materials and the supply chain and equipment is there, and it's really the growth. You know, you can say make more money and do all that, but it's also about stagnation and to avoid that. And so growth in the company and growth with what we do is always fun, but also people need growth. And so we're really in a better position nowadays and to give people different channels to move into. And again, the bigger and more growth we have creates better opportunities for everybody. So it's going to be neat to see that and to let people come up and grab it and run with it again. So I really think that's what we need is growth.
Fred would say he's proud. Fred always would have been proud. he loved his kids and always wanted us to achieve and move on and you know, get out in the world and see what's what and you know, be a part of it. He wanted us to assist in the community, and by having a company, and a company he started for this very reason, was he wanted to provide for his community. And he was able to provide for his community by having a company and hiring people and being able to hire people who maybe weren't the first choices and teaching them what they needed. And I think he'd be proud that we continued his legacy and continued trying to help the community in very similar ways that as he started to.